Hey everyone, in honor of my new horror short film that I'm making called We're Not Safe Here, I am going to revisit my viral hit, Don't Look Away. This is a horror short film that I made in college when I was 19 years old with a budget of $50 and a crew of like 6 or so, and it was done in the span of 2 weeks. Whole process from the writing it to getting it all together to shooting it to editing it and publishing it. Legitimately, this film was done that quickly because it was part of a class, and never in a million years would I have ever imagined that it would blow up to get 30 million views. It's insane, and I'm really happy that it blew up, that it was really popular, and now I am doing my best to continue that horror tradition. I really would love to be known as the next big horror film guy. So let's do this. Let's see what you guys had to say about my film. From Nerf Force sketches to short horror films, a true man's journey. Thank you. Daughter, almost got blinded by ghost. Dad, sorry sweetie, I'll explain it tomorrow. Yeah, it's not the best writing, definitely. I'll admit it. Honestly, this is gonna be a lot of roasting me, probably. I love how the brother is so chill. Yeah, I wanted him to be chill on purpose. I wanted a character to kind of offset. You know, Savannah, she was like this, you know, regular nervous person, was like, oh my god, there's something going on. I gotta do something. Then I wanted Jim to kind of be comic relief, and you know, even if you were stuck in a scary situation like that, you'd have a friend who wouldn't take it seriously and would just be super chill and funny, and that's what I wanted. Plot twist: every time she blinks, she's looking away. Yeah, technically, you know, if you blink, maybe you're looking away. I like to think of it more as the stare, the connection, the visual connection that you can tell someone's looking at you. I kind of always just saw it as like, it can tell when that eye contact is broken, you know, just because you're blinking doesn't mean you're breaking eye contact necessarily. You know, it's a rough thing. Hey, love the film. We watched it years ago and loved it and came back today to watch it again. Did you ever make a part 2? The ending alluded to a possible sequel. A lot of people say that. A lot of people wanted a sequel to Don't Look Away, and I wanted to make one for a little while, but just it never really came together. I never really had a solid story, and I kind of have the tendency to overreach myself. I try and expand the lore and create this whole thing. It's just not really something that I would have the passion behind, and I don't want to make a film unless I'm passionate about it and that I actually know that I can make good. So I like to just leave it as is, leave it open-ended. Plot twist: the creepy suit dude is just their mom pranking them. That's a tall mom. I like how he attacked the one she is supposed to be looking at when he can't see it. I mean, you know, he sees it because now he's looking at it. That's sort of the whole thing. And fun fact about that moment, actually, the shot where it's on Jim and in the background we see Savannah, you know, walking around the room and we don't see the creature because we're on Jim's POV. That was a complete accident. On set, I never thought the shot actually was going to look like that, and for some reason, I didn't actually see like the setup. Like I didn't actually see specifically what the shot looked like, and I explained that I wanted it a certain way, but I wanted it more from the side so that we actually wouldn't see behind Jim, but the camera actually ended up being more here, and I just made that mistake. But actually, when I was editing, I realized that makes perfect sense because Jim never looked at that version of the creature. That creature is basically Savannah's creature, the one that she has eye contact with now. So it would make sense that if we're in Jim's POV, it wouldn't be there. And I loved that. I was like, actually, that's really kind of cool and creepy. And so it was just a happy little accident. Craziest paranormal impossible thing happens. Dad, I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. Exactly. The grass doesn't even need to be cut. Yeah, that was a common criticism. It did not. And also, what family has a daughter cut the grass? I don't know, especially like a rich family, because clearly they live in a big house. So yeah. The brother looked about as scared as if he was watching a squirrel on the lawn. Exactly. But I think that when the fear actually comes into play, he does it great. And that's what I really wanted. To me, it's much more scarier when the character who isn't usually scared suddenly is scared. To me, then it's like, oh, now we're in actual danger. So found this clip for a class project, and am I ever glad that I did. What an awesome concept. I would definitely watch a full-length theatrical version of this story. I mean, hey, if you know someone in Hollywood, you know, big-time movie producer who wants a short horror film that has a big name behind it, a la Lights Out from YouTube to then feature film, tell them to reach out to me. I got my work email, my website. It's all there. I'm in the market. I actually really enjoyed this. It's amazing how you managed to pretty much take Slender Man and make it something quite unique and original that nobody can just call a Slender Man ripoff or anything. Very impressive. Thank you. I definitely had Slender Man vibes, of course. Technically, the actual inspiration for this film was I think it was a game called Don't Blink. It was basically a VR horror game where every like few seconds or so your character will blink and these these like suited creepy men are going to get closer to you no matter what. Or I think it's when you look away from them, then they get closer, which also apparently is from Weeping Angels, the Doctor Who thing, which I'd never heard of until I had already made the film. But yeah, it was slightly based on that, and then also slightly based on, there was a short story on Hooked, which I didn't know about. It was actually my friend Camden told me about it, and he said that he had just seen like a text version of it, but basically it was like a text conversation that was the setup for a scary story. And the story was, a girl sees someone in her backyard, she calls her dad telling him, or I think she texts him saying, hey, someone's staring at me in the yard, and the dad just says, don't look away. That was it. And when I heard that, I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. Those were the main inspirations of this film. But definitely, you know, Slender Man, of course, you know, big tall guy with a suit, that was inspired by it. And then also the character, the creature, was actually inspired from the Chainsaw Majini in Resident Evil 5. That sandbag was sort of the rope chain thing. I liked that look and I wanted to get that. So yeah, those are all the inspirations mixed together. This is a great short story. It's so intriguing to me. I'd love to learn the background story to why this monster has been following the parents or the mother. I've considered writing my own background story to go with it just for fun. Yeah, I had loose ideas of the backstory of the creature and how it tied in with the mom, and I was expanding that for a possible sequel, but of course I'm just gonna keep that to myself. If and when or whatever some big Hollywood producer reaches out to me with a couple mil and I can make a feature film, then I can expand on that. Wow, I really wasn't expecting that ending. Well done, guys. I didn't understand the ending. Can you please explain? Same. Yeah, so pretty much with the ending, what I wanted was not only to show that, of course, the creature's still out there, and we don't even know how many of this creature there is, because definitely if the dad already knew that if you looked away, then there's another one, clearly he's done the same thing. So no matter what, there could be any number of creatures out there. But also, I wanted us, the audience, to be staring at the creature at the end there, to almost make you feel like you can't look away, which a lot of comments did point that out, and I'm glad they got that. Maybe it could have been done a little better, could have been set up a little bit better. I do think that ending kind of drags on a bit whenever I'm watching the film. I like the idea that I went for, and I think I did, you know, not too bad of a job of it. Imagine getting an acting role where they put a sack over your head and you just have to stand. Yep, that was Charlie. He was a fellow Art Center student. He did a lot of producing and directing, and he was very tall. I think he was like 6'4", 6'5", and I was like, hey, Charlie, you wanna be this tall ghost creature in my short film? He was like, yeah, sure. So he's chill about it. I don't even know if he has any idea that he is the star of a viral short film on YouTube. It's pretty crazy. Father, don't look away. Girl looks away. You had one job. Yeah, I wanted it to be understandable because, you know, obviously I can't have the characters actually just standing there not looking away because something's gotta happen. Someone's gotta screw up. I wanted the characters to be smart, but maybe they weren't. So that's definitely something that I've accepted over the years, and maybe I didn't write them as smart as I thought I did. Never underestimate your audience. Your audience is always ahead of you. Amazing, perfect, creepy ending without resorting to a cheap jump scare. Exactly. I think that no matter what, the scariest thing is a build up to the jump scare. Once you do the actual jump scare, that tension is released, unless the jump scare leads to a whole new horrifying thing. But it was the ending of my film, you know, in the end, okay, like the creature then suddenly attacked you. Why would it, you know? So that's why I just wanted to build up and then nothing, and then leave the audience thinking like, oh God, it went away, so now I looked back. Yeah, but I try my best to avoid cheap jump scares because boy, do we got lots of that in modern horror. Plot twist, their dad is Albert Einstein's younger brother. I guess he does kind of look like Albert Einstein, yeah. The concept is pretty good, just wish they had better actors. Would have been loads better. I don't think the acting was bad at all. I think that if anything, it's to blame the writing and directing because I gave them the lines to say and I was happy with the way that they said them on the day, and I didn't give them any direction to say it better or whatnot. I'm honestly happy with the acting still to this day, so I don't quite get all the criticisms for that, but you know, to each their own. Nice job, guys, and I love that mansion. Daddy's done good for the family. Yeah, actually, that house was the cinematographer's parents' house. I needed a house, and he had access to one, and it was a big old house. I was like, oh, cool. And fun fact, actually, that backyard was shot at a completely different location. All of that was shot on a different day in a completely different location, and all of the like outside, like all the shots down there were done like on a overlook. It wasn't through a window or anything. And it's pretty wild that all that ends up syncing up together because the actual view from that room where the characters are actually in had nothing. So yeah, all that was movie magic. With a bit of direction, funding, set production, equipment, and lighting, guess a lot of other things. Toss in a few seasoned actors and you got a good little movie going on, LOL. I like the premise of not looking away. Good job, guys. Much better than anything I would have pumped myself out. It's funny because I think a lot of people don't realize this film was made by a few college students in 2 weeks with a budget of $50. I feel like a lot of people look at this and think it was like a whole group of like actual filmmakers, and that's what's sort of really inspiring and helpful in terms of like my own personal self-esteem. Like, you know, no matter how many times I can doubt myself or think like I don't really know how to, you know, make films and stuff, there are a lot of people out there that see this film and see an entire other thing and not realize that it was actually done by just a small group of people. That is really awesome, and I love it. Finally, a short film that actually knows that brothers and sisters talk to each other. Yeah, I wanted to get that in there. You know, I wanted them to bully each other. I don't like some of the dialogue that I wrote, like the "you're becoming like mom, shutting doors in men's faces." That is just kind of dumb in hindsight. It was kind of fun. They start a horror film where they're cussing at each other and yelling at each other and stuff. It's fun, you know. And then it gives them a little character arc where it's like, oh, they don't really get along, and then suddenly they have to work together, and it's like, oh. And then also the fact that the second the sister is in danger, the brother comes in and saves her. He doesn't even think twice about it. So, yeah, I just wanted a little character stuff like that. The reason I love this horror film is because it has no jump scares, and honestly, they better make a sequel. The interesting thing is, like, jump scare definitely has different definitions, and technically my film has a jump, I guess, and then a jump scare, but the jump scare is after the scare itself. It's weird because my favorite part of the whole film, and the part that always gets people, when the creature isn't out there anymore and Savannah's saying, "Why'd you look away?" and he's like, "I didn't look away, I can still see it," and she says, "Well, where is mine?" and then immediately it's behind her. That moment, and with the little wooden creak, that always gets people. It's not a jump scare necessarily because it's not met with a bong, a big loud noise. It's just a, but then as soon as she turns around, then it's, and it's like a big noise. And so, you know, that isn't exactly a jump scare, but I would call it a jump because it's a sudden, and it makes people jump. So, you know, but I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud that I actually had a moment that gets people. And that's what's really fun about making horror films, I think, where it demands a reaction out of its audience. It demands you to kind of have a gut emotional reaction, even if you're not necessarily going to like, oh, or anything, you know, even just like being tense and just kind of, like, I love that. I love just kind of messing with people's expectations and emotions, and to successfully pull off a good jump scare like that, you know, I'm really happy about that. And I love watching react videos of that too. I love seeing all of everyone's reactions to that moment. So you're telling me people just leave all their doors in the house unlocked? Yeah, that's pretty funny. And also the fact that the door was open. Who leaves their front door open? Especially like a rich family. I'm sure they probably have a lot of security, so yeah. I really like that the father referred to the man as it after Savannah says there's a man in the backyard. It gives the impression that he knows this is not a man, that he's been through this before. Exactly. I did that on purpose to give it a little... I love how the brother is just calm but scared at the same time. Exactly, which is why I think Danny Roy did a fantastic job. I think he really got that balance perfectly. I love how the girl does a full 180 turn just so she can call her dad. Like, why doesn't she just ask Siri to call her dad instead of looking down at her phone? Good point. You got me. That's a very valid point of criticism. Congratulations. I do not have an answer for that. I jokingly looked away as soon as the transition from the final scene to the credits turned black, and it legit scared the shit out of me. Yes! Success! Exactly what I wanted. Jim, listen to me very carefully. Yo, acting 10 out of 10. Someone give this man a fucking Oscar for his 10-star acting. This isn't sarcastic. I fucking love Jim. I love Jim too. He's funny. I won't be home for another hour. 20 seconds later, I'll be home in 10 minutes. Because time-wise, he had something to do. And then suddenly, as wait, my family's in danger. I'm gonna head there now. I got you on that one. Fun fact, all the doors and windows were shuttered, but still the daddy was able to enter the house. He has a key. There's a lot of comments that pointed that out. How did the dad get in if she locked the door? The dad has a key. You guys realize the kid that made Nerf Gun Zombie Apocalypse series made this, right? Funny enough, I think a lot of people don't, and that's what's kind of crazy. And that's also what's sort of wild. Like, a lot of people, when I tell them that, oh yeah, Don't Look Away, I made that, it surprises them. That's probably the most recognized video that I've made that I've been told about. But then on YouTube itself, a lot of people still know me from the Nerf days. Like, every now and then I'll comment on an Actman video or a Philip DeFranco video or a Red Letter Media video, and every single time there's a comment saying like, yo, Nerf guy, what's up? I feel like I will be, you know, 80 years old, and there will be someone out there who remembers me for the Nerf videos, or someone out there who will remember me from Don't Look Away. I just hope to create a new one, a new thing that people know me for. And so I'm hoping that's horror films, especially my next horror film. So there we go. That is it for reacting to all the comments on my film Don't Look Away. It was a lot of fair criticisms that we came across, a couple that I think weren't quite as fair, and, you know, some really funny good points made. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has watched my film, watched my channel. Please consider checking out my Patreon. I am currently raising funds for my next horror short film. And if you haven't seen Sweet Dreams, that is my most recent horror short film. Much scarier than this one, a lot better, way better, you know, just everything. So you can check that out. There will be a link in the description and up here and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, check out all that stuff. Look forward to more videos in the future. I'm definitely going to look at some more comments of some of my other horror short films since I'm in that craze right now. And yeah, that's it for this video. See you guys later. Bye.